Hi everybody, thank you very much for joining us again. As you know, we're doing sort of lots of short videos, so this is the next one in our series of TKC Games vlogs. It's our company briefing. We're joined this evening with Jeffrey. We've got a little video talking about our software project. We've got Bob Vail, our head programmer, in that, so it will be on the channel. Find it, like it, enjoy it. It's actually quite cool hearing his enthusiasm for what we're trying to do. So this little video is a little company update as to where we're at, and unlike the norm, I'm going to hand this over to Jeff. Jeff, where we're at with your work on the joys of navies in World War I.
Right. Well, last week I had a crack at the British monitors. I had to do precisely where they are in the Atlantic Ocean, simply because they go up to the coast and they're offering fire support to our troops. It turned out to be quite easy. 9 times out of 10, they're at Zeebrugge, Ostend, and just going up there and plinking as many lock gates as they can manage. So whizzed through that, got that all done, and now I'm currently looking at the French Navy. I've got most of their basic statistics for any ships in the Atlantic completed, and now I just need to look at gun turret types and precisely where they are in the Atlantic Ocean. And I currently have a set of lovely books which provide me with that kind of information. And finally, once I've got that done, that might take me a bit of time because I need to do it by hand. Wikipedia just doesn't have the information. But some lovely individual, who shall remain anonymous because I don't know who they are, has requested this book back in the library. So I need to get as much information from this as possible for any naval efficiency values. Yeah.
So what you're actually telling me is when you find that person, they're going to have an accident.
I would say more selective non-lethal amnesia.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, okay. So what have I been doing? Well, I've obviously been spending, if you've been following our Facebook channel, TKC Games, Andrew, if you can put a link for that down below, it'd be really handy. And out through our newsletter and so on, you'll know that I've been working on Vulcan Fury 2 for what feels like a lifetime. Corey and I had a chat during the week, and his parting shot in the email I got last night about 1 in the morning our time, which would be dark 100 US time the following day, was if I never see another Croatian unit, it will be too soon. I'm not doing them again. These are done. So he has come through, finally, a bit late, but he has come through with a very detailed order battle for the independent Croatian state. Now, that was the Nazi puppet state of Croatia. So we've already got some information for that in the OB. I've done the Navy, that took 10 seconds. I've done the Air Force, that took a couple of hours. And we had some ground stuff, but he's done a massive amount of work. So we're going to plug as much of that into Vulcan Fury as is appropriate. It'll take me a day or so to get that done. And that means I can draw a line under the counter art once I have that in the OB file. Obviously, I can then derive the counters from it and job done. Proofing should be full steam ahead. I had hoped Friday, to be honest. We're going to probably be Wednesday or Thursday this week now because I've got various things on. I'm going to get, don't laugh everybody, but I've got to go and try on a kilt tomorrow because I'm my friend's best man at his wedding and he's decided that I've got to wear a kilt. So I'm going down to Glasgow tomorrow to work out whether or not they can find a kilt big enough to go over my gut, which is not going to be much fun. But other than that, this won't take too long to get that done. Madagascar, the revision of that, is out for proof. The only thing we haven't completed yet is the sea zone map. And I might add a couple of learning things, you know, how to blow stuff up on land, how to kill stuff in the air, and how to blow ships up. Usual kind of thing we do in games so you can get a handle on how to get it playing the board games. So that is out getting proofed right now, which is pretty cool. Didn't take us too long because mainly the amendments were to mapping and to artwork, just bringing it up to the same standard as more recent games. So it should be really exciting. I then spent 2 evenings, so about at least 8 hours looking at US Navy Fletcher class destroyers. And if I never see another American ship, it will be too soon. They built about 230 of the things. I can't remember exactly how many. Just hold on a wee minute. I'm going to go and check Wiki while we're live here. Oh, there we go. How many did they actually build? 175, it says. It feels like 475, I've got to be honest. So we're working on them, or at least I'm plugging them into the file. If I can get past them, we've got the Allen M. Summers and then the Gearings. There aren't too many of them in comparison. Probably another 200 ships, to be fair. And that's me out of the destroyer world and into the destroyer escort world. And they aren't as well documented in our sources. To be quite clear, for the US Navy, the global sources, the Dictionary of American Naval Fighting Ships, you can Google that. We use it. You'd be better going to Wikipedia because it actually is what we call DNFS, DNFS, cut and paste, and then enthusiasts who maybe have family that served in some of these ships, or they have access to information that maybe the people in DNFS who are quite clearly C-movie scriptwriters from Hollywood didn't bother putting in, you know. Like, that ship didn't shoot down 35 planes at Pearl Harbor on the 7th of December 1941. That's how many planes the entire US defense shot down, right? So that kind of slight inaccuracy in it aside, it does at least tell us that the ships perhaps were at, you know, Tinian or Saipan or Guam or Iwo Jima or Okinawa or whatever. That's really crucial because the US Navy's Pacific operations are tied very heavily to specific amphibious landings. And as we're doing this for Watchtower, and actually the whole of the war, if we can get this file put together quickly, and that's a laugh, but if we can get that done, it then means that I can genuinely say to you that with the exception of 8th Air Force and 9th Air Force and the 15th Air Force, and the 8th and the British 2nd Tactical, which is actually done, but it needs typed up. We have all the information at that point, essentially for liberation. We have all the information to complete Vengeance. We have all the information to complete Watchtower, Kamikaze, I Shall Return, and the big chunk of the China incident, which is during the Second World War. So we will actually have all of that. That's how important this American file is. It also updates what's in Mare Nostrum. We have a download for that. I'm pretty sure it's in the Mare Nostrum forum on our website. If it's not, if you can't find it, please ping me an email. I'll send you. I'll give you a copy of this US Navy file we're working on. It is a draft, but it means you have a full US Navy OB for Singapore and for Mare Nostrum and Blitzkrieg if you own the games. Obviously in the software project, that's all going to get chucked in. So we have to get that right. And Geoff, what he's doing with World War I is essentially the same job I've been doing for years with navies. The land stuff we've got, thanks to Eric Pierce, very kindly gave us a huge amount of information. And yes, we need to confirm it. Yes, we need to look at it a little bit, do our own ratings, that kind of thing. Take a few value judgments, but fundamentally World War I is done once Geoff gets the Navy sorted, right? Certainly the first game, Home by Christmas, air in the first year and a half, I'm pretty sure is going to just be an effect. And it'll be the Eindecker Scourge, the Fokker Scourge, is when we start to look at that as something where air-to-air combat was directly affecting the outcomes in the battlefield. And that's what, 1915, 16, something like that, Geoff? Yeah?
Yeah.
Sometime there. That, you know, so we could probably draw a line pretty quickly for the, you know, for the project. So, well, first flight is in May of 15. So I guess that, yeah, they start flying combat in July of 15 with it. So, you know, we're not going to be that far away from being able to give you certainly Home by Christmas as a set of OBs, which then I can do, and Geoff and I can look at mapping and the counter art and so on for those games, which is really exciting. Maybe a bit more work to be done for Armistice because there are quite big air forces towards the end of the war. You know, the Germans have about 1,000, maybe 1,600 aircraft. The British have got double that. The French are not far off the German number, as I recall, and the Americans are not insignificant. That said, it's not like World War II, where you've got, you know, 8,000 planes in Britain, many of which are operational and supporting, say, the D-Day landing. You know, it's not on the same scale. It's not the same impact. And if you hear a loud noise all of a sudden coming out the lounge through the wall there, my mother is watching the Eagle has landed, I think it is, and it's full of explosions and Clint Eastwood machine gunning people with a massive amount of ammunition from something that only has 30 round magazines. So anyway,
sorry.
Yes, oh, it is where, yeah, yes, the Eagles, yeah, where Eagles Dare. That's the one. Well done. It's on TV just now, by the way, for about the 5 millionth time. So yeah, so that's where we're at with all the company stuff. Andrew has been putting out videos for us, and he will be putting more out. We'll be putting 3 out from this little chat that we've been having. We will be back again pretty much next week with some briefings on progress. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for having a little look at what we're doing. If you've enjoyed it, like it. If you don't like it, tell us, dislike it. Please follow us for more. And, you know, subscribe to the channel, because we will be having other guests. That's going to be a recurring theme. You've seen Bob now. Geoff and I are kind of the regulars on it, but we will be bringing other people in. I would like to have Corey here, but I don't think we're going to manage that for about 2 or 3 months, because he has, I think I mentioned, he's got an operation. So that's coming up soon. That said, he does tell me he's going to give me the Palau Amphibious Assault and Peleliu. So that should be this coming week for, yeah, guess what? One of these games that I've just mentioned. Have a good one, everybody, and tune back in soon for our next installment. Good night.